Hi students, good afternoon everybody. Today we are going to see our second prose, A Nice Cup of Tea, written by George Orwell. So we have completed first unit in the previous classes. Today let us start the second prose, A Nice Cup of Tea. Okay, so first let us see about the author, George Orwell. Eric Arthur Blair, 25th June 1903 to 21st January 1950, better known by his pen name George Orwell, was an English novelist, essayist, journalist and critic whose work is marked by clear prose, awareness of social inequity, opposition to totalitarianism and candid support of democratic socialism. Right. So, Eric Arthur Blair. So, Eric Arthur Blair is his original name and George Orwell is his nickname. But he is well known by his name George Orwell. Right. So, what is his lifetime is? He was born in 25th June 1903 and was died in 21st January 1950. Better known by his pen name George Orwell. Okay, so George Orwell is his pen name, that is, it is his nickname, and Eric Arthur Blair is his original name. So he was an English novelist. So already you know who is a novelist. So a person who writes novel is called as novelist. Essayist, a person who writes essays is called as essayist. And journalist, so who is a journalist? A person who collects and writes about news in newspapers. A person who collects and writes news from various fields. Okay, one who writes for newspapers or magazines, and recently we can say for news websites. Okay, and who gives news for the television broadcasting. He is called as journalist. Okay, a person who collects and writes news for newspapers, news magazines, news websites for TV broadcasting. He is called as journalist. And critic. So who is a critic? So a critic is a person who says what is bad or what is wrong in something or somebody's work. He is called as critic. Okay, a person who says what is wrong or what is bad in somebody's work or about somebody or something is called as critic. So, especially for the poets and the authors. Okay, they will be criticizing the works of poets and the authors. So, criticizing means here it is not in the bad sense. Just they will be commenting what is bad. Okay, what is wrong. Suppose if someone is using a literary device and poetic device in the poem. Okay, so a critic may comment instead of simile, if we are using personification there, the poem would be better. Okay, so simile shouldn't come there. Personification should come there. So likewise, they will be criticizing the works of others. They will be commenting what is bad or what is wrong. He is called as critic. Okay, so a critic whose work is marked by clear prose, awareness of social inequity, opposition to totalitarianism and candid support of democratic socialism. So there are many historic terms here. So listen. Whose work is marked by clear prose, awareness of social inequity. Okay, so what is social inequity? So inequity means immoral or some unfair behavior. Okay, some immoral behavior or some unfair behavior in the society is called as social inequity. Okay, opposition to totalitarianism. So what is totalitarianism? So actually totalitarianism is a form of government. Okay, so it is a form of government that prohibits opposition parties, and also it restricts the individual opposition to the states and individual opposition to the states. It means totalitarianism is a form of government. Okay, so it restricts, that is, it doesn't allow any individual opposition against the state and against the government. Okay, we cannot, as an individual person, we cannot oppose anything about the government. We cannot disobey the government. Okay, and also it exercises high control over the public life, that is the people living in the society, public life and the private life, everything. Okay, so nothing but totalitarianism is it is a form of government. Okay, it is a form of government. So in that government, we the common people, that is people living in the society, okay, we cannot individually, so as a single person, we cannot individually oppose the government. We cannot show any opposition towards the government, and also the government will exercise, that is, it will imply all form of rights and rules on us. Okay, it will have a high control, that is, the people living in that country and that state should be completely dependent only on the government. We cannot oppose anything against the government because we will be under the control of them. That is called as totalitarianism, right? I hope you may understand. Okay, so and candid support of democratic socialism. So what is candid? Candid means it is expressing exactly what we think in our mind. Okay, expressing clearly exactly what we are thinking in our mind. That is called as candid. Okay, and candid support of democratic socialism. So what is mean by democratic socialism means it is a means of okay, so democratic socialism means here, okay, the production, okay, so all the production are socially and collectively controlled by a democratic system of government, that is democratic political system of, that is all the production will be equally divided, okay, and it will be controlled by the democratic form of government, that is called as democratic socialism. Okay, so let us see. So George Orwell is an English novelist. He is also an essayist. He is a journalist, okay, and a critic whose work is marked by clear prose, and in his prose what will be there, that is in all his works what will be there, awareness of social inequity will be there. Okay, opposition to the totalitarianism. So totalitarianism is a form of government where the people in that state will be completely dependent on the government, or the government will exercise high control over the people. Okay, so he creates awareness of social inequity, opposition to totalitarianism, that is he creates awareness among the people, okay, awareness of social inequity, that is he creates awareness. Inequity means immoral or unfair behavior, so he creates awareness against the unfair behavior of that is as an opposition to the totalitarianism, that form of government, and he has the support of democratic socialism. Okay, next, Orwell wrote literary criticism, poetry, fiction, and polemical journalism. So what are his other works is, he wrote on literary criticism, that is, you know what is criticism already, right? So he wrote literary criticism, poetry, poems, and fiction. Fiction means imaginary events or stories. Okay, characterized with imaginary events or stories, and polemical journalism. So here it is a good term. What is polemical journalism is, so you know what is journalism already. Okay, so what is polemics? Okay, polemics means it is a controversial discussion or argument, or we can call as a debate itself. See, for example, all your 11th standard exam and 10th standard exam, so they have twice they have postponed the exam dates. So immediately you might have seen in the news channels that the journalist or the persons in that field and also in the political field, they'll be discussing on the topic. Okay, so how will be the discussion is, it will be a controversial discussion, or almost it will be like an argument. So one will be supporting, one will be opposing. So one person will be telling, so if exam is conducted in such a situation, definitely the students will be affected. So one will be discussing 10th mark is very important for everyone, so they have to write the exams. Okay, so government has arranged all the pre-prepared everything for the safety of the students. So one will be discussing, one will be telling, in this pandemic period it is very unimportant to conduct the exams. So likewise the discussion will be controversial. That is called as polemics. You might have seen in all this in the news channels. Okay, so that is called as polemical journalism. Okay, so Orwell wrote literary criticism, poetry, fiction and polemical journalism. He is best known for the allegorical novella Animal Farm, which was written in 1945. Okay, so you know what is allegory, we have discussed in the previous poem itself, right? So he is best known for the allegorical novella Animal Farm, which was written in 1945, and the dystopian novel 1984, which was written in 1949. So what is mean by dystopian means, so he is best known for the allegorical novella Animal Farm, which is written in 1945. So all of you know what is allegory. And the dystopian novel. So dystopian means it is an imagined state or society where the people are suffering from injustice. Okay, in an imagined society where the people are suffering from great injustice done to them, it is called as dystopian novel. So the name of the novel is 1984 and it was written in 1949. In 2008, the Times ranked him. So the Times is the name of the newspaper, right? So the Times ranked him second on a list of the 50 greatest British writers since 1945. Okay, in the Times magazine, he was listed as a second person in the 50 greatest British writers since, that is from 1945. He gained the second place. Okay, now let us get into the prose. A nice cup of tea. So here are a few varieties of tea. How many of this have you tasted? Tick the boxes. You might do it. Then you would have seen lovely packets of tea on the shelves in supermarkets and shops. Have you ever wondered how tea powder is obtained from the plants? Look at the pictures and describe the process. So what is the first picture? They are plucking the tea leaves from the estate. In the estate, second one, we can see the cultivation of tea leaves, I hope. In the third picture, it is being manufactured in the the tea leaves are in the manufacturing process. In the last picture, we can see the tea powders, that is they are packeted, I hope. Okay, now let us get into the lesson. A nice cup of tea. So what is the okay, read the following essay in which George Orwell highlights the distinctive features of preparing a nice cup of tea. Okay, so in this essay what we are going to see is, so here George Orwell highlights the distinctive features of how to prepare a nice cup of tea. Okay, so if you look up tea in the first cookery book that comes to hand, you will probably find that it is unmentioned, or at most you will find a few lines of sketchy instructions which give no ruling on several of the most important points. Okay, so if you look up tea in the first cookery book, so what is cookery book? Cookery book is a recipe book. Okay, a book containing recipes for the preparation of food. That is called as cookery book. Okay, so if you look up tea in the first cookery book that comes to hand, you will probably find that it is unmentioned. Unmentioned means it is not mentioned. Okay, if you search for the recipe of preparing tea in your cookery book which is in your hand, or whenever you see a cookery book, if you search the recipe for preparing a tea, so that is probably it is unmentioned. So probably it will not be mentioned. That is, the recipe may not be available, or at most you will find a few lines of sketchy instructions which give no ruling on several of the most important points. Okay, or at most you will find a few lines of sketchy instructions which give no ruling on several of the most important points, or you might find some instructions, okay, but it will not have any important points of preparing a nice cup of tea. Okay, this is curious not only because tea is one of the mainstays of civilization in this country, as well as in Eyre, Australia and New Zealand, but because the best manner of making it is the subject of violent disputes. Okay, this is curious. So what is curious? Interesting, very interesting. This is curious not only because, so what is curious? How to prepare a nice cup of tea. So tea is definitely a thing of refreshment, a drink of refreshment. Okay, so whenever you feel tired, okay, so you can take, so definitely everyone will be taking tea as a drink of a refreshment. Okay, so it needs some keen interest, right? So it is curious. This is curious not only because tea is one of the mainstays of civilization in this country. It is very interesting and important because it is not only the main thing of civilization, that is an main thing of civilization that is which is followed for many traditionally followed, or it has some importance, traditional importance in this country, as well as in Eyre, not only in our country, as well as in Eyre, Australia and New Zealand, and also in New Zealand. But because the best manner of making it is the subject of violent disputes. Okay, so what is dispute? A disagreement or an argument, it is called as dispute, right? Okay, but because the best manner of making it is the subject of violent dispute. But because the best manner, so how to prepare, what is the best manner to prepare a nice cup of tea is a topic of argument still now. So many of them doesn't know how to prepare a nice cup of tea. in spite, it is occupying one of the main place in our civilization. Why the author is telling that it is occupying a main place in our civilization? Civilization means in our Tamil Nagarigam. Okay, so why it is occupying a main place means because whoever comes to your home, what will be immediately doing? We should give them a tea. Okay, so how the tea should be? It should be a nice cup of tea. Okay, so it is a thing to be argued how to prepare a best cup of tea. When I look through my own recipe for the perfect cup of tea, I find no fewer than 11 outstanding points. On perhaps 2 of them there would be pretty general agreement, but at least 4 others are acutely controversial. Here are my own 11 rules, every one of which I regard as golden rules. Okay, when I look through my own recipe for the perfect cup of tea. Okay, so when I try to prepare a perfect cup of tea with my own recipe, I find no fewer than 11 outstanding points. I have some 11 outstanding points, important points. On perhaps 2 of them there would be pretty general agreement. So out of that 11 points, 2 of them will be a pretty thing. It will be a good thing agreed by all. But at least 4 others are acutely controversial. Okay, but 4 other points are acutely controversial. So what is mean by controversial? What is that? Something which is to be argued. Okay, and argued, something to be argued. So 4 are controversial. Here are my own 11 rules, every one of which I regard as golden. So I have given the 11 rules, my own 11 rules. So every one of the rule I consider it as a golden rule for preparing a nice cup of tea. So let us see what are those golden rules, so that we can use it in our home to write. You can instruct your mom to follow all the 11 golden rules to have a nice cup of tea when you are reading, preparing for your exams, right? Okay. First of all, one should use Indian or Ceylonese tea. China tea has virtues which are not to be despised nowadays. It is economical and one can drink it without milk, but there is not much stimulation in it. One doesn't feel wiser, braver, or more optimistic after drinking it. Anyone who has used that comforting phrase, a nice cup of tea, invariably means it is Indian tea. Wow. Okay. So first of all, one should use Indian or Ceylonese tea. So what the author George Orwell instructs us is, one should prefer, not prepare, one should prefer Indian tea. One should use Indian tea or Ceylonese tea. Okay. China tea has virtues which are not to be despised nowadays. Okay, so Chinese tea, that is China tea, has virtues. What is mean by virtues? Some best qualities, some attractive qualities, some admirable qualities. Okay, so China tea has virtues. It is having some admirable qualities which are not to be despised nowadays. Which are not to be despised. Despised means not to be hated. Okay, so China tea is having some good, admirable, attractive qualities which is not to be hated nowadays. It is economical. Okay, and also it is economical. Economical means there is no need of spending much money. And one can drink it without milk. Why it is economical is we can drink it without milk. There is no need of adding milk. But there is not much stimulation in it. Oh my god. Okay, so there is not much stimulation in it. Stimulation means, what is stimulation? Not enthusiastic, not an excitement in it. So as we have, so why we should have a tea? Tea is a thing of break. You might have seen in a school also, we teachers will be looking forward to have a break, especially for the tea, because it will be making us get ready for the next class. Okay, so likewise it is a thing of stimulation. Okay, so when you are asking your mom for a tea, you will be definitely 100% expecting that it will be a boost up for you. Okay, it will make you excite. Okay, it will motivate you to read further, to prepare further, or not only reading, to for doing some works, everything. It is a thing of stimulation, right? Likewise, here the author is telling about the China tea. What he is telling, it is definitely having some best attractive qualities which is not to be hated. There is no need to hate the Chinese tea, because it is having some admirable attractive qualities. It is economical. It is also economical. There is no need of spending much money, and one can drink it without milk. So we can drink Chinese tea without milk, but there is not much stimulation in it. There is no stimulation, excitement. We cannot get any excitement of drinking China tea. Then how can we say it as a nice cup of tea? Okay, one doesn't feel wiser. Okay, and also the author is telling that after having a cup of China tea, one doesn't feel wiser. Wiser means, what is wise? Knowledgeable, intelligent. So tea is a thing of break, to feel refreshed, to start another work, okay, with some interest. But after having such a tea, that is China tea, we cannot feel wiser, we cannot get briskness, we cannot feel knowledgeable, okay, braver, that is we won't get any brisk, or more optimistic. What is optimism? Having a positive thinking, having a positive thought. Pessimism means having a negative thought, that is pessimism. Optimism means having a positive thinking, okay, or more optimistic after drinking it. So we cannot feel wiser, we cannot feel braver, we cannot be optimistic after drinking the China tea. Okay, anyone who has used that comforting phrase, what is comforting phrase? Very comfortable. If someone is asking us, if a good furniture is provided in a room with good facilities, AC is provided, good furniture is provided, everything is there, a nice food is provided, and if they are asking, do you feel comfortable in this room? What will you say? Whether will you say yes or no? Definitely will be telling yes, I am very comfortable, right? Likewise, anyone who has used that comforting phrase, a nice cup of tea, invariably means it is Indian tea. Okay, if someone is telling us, if imagine we are going somewhere, they are providing us tea. At the end of the last sip of tea, what our mind should think? It is a nice cup of tea. Wow. Okay, so if we are having such a feel at the last sip of the tea, what tea definitely it will be? It will be an Indian tea. So only the Indian tea can be tasted wise. So there only we can use the phrase, a nice cup of tea. Okay, so this is what George Orwell says in the first point. So what he says, China tea is good. It has some admirable qualities that we cannot definitely hate it, and also it is economical. It comes under our caste. We can drink it without milk. So it is also one of the reason why he says it is economical. But there is no stimulation, there is no excitement after having it. Okay, we cannot feel wiser, we cannot feel braver, we cannot be optimistic. We will not be having a positive thought. That is, we will not be feeling refreshed after drinking it. But if a person is at the last sip of the tea, if a person feels that it is a nice cup of tea, what is it? It is definitely an Indian tea. Okay, so let us stop with this today. We will continue in the next class. Thank you.